Iraqi soldier is hit with shrapnel. He has multiple wounds all over his body. If any major arteries are hit, he'd quickly bleed out and die.
Give me, I need a gauze. Some gauze. Hold that.
My security advisor is a trained medic.
As you can see, a lot of artillery fire, both sides at the moment. Very heavy fighting around the area, around the airport. Not going to go any further forward. Stop here.
Gary, how are you, brother?
Hey Chris, how are you? Welcome to my garden, London town. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. That's the best backdrop I think I've had on the podcast so far.
Cool. Glad to hear it.
It's not like the news, is it, where that's just a video or something?
No, it's quite real. We'll have to try and keep the noise of the vehicles down if they go by.
Wow.
Been lucky.
So are you in central London then?
Yeah, I'm up in Soho today.
Wow.
Yeah, just cutting about up here.
So I think out of everybody I know, you've probably got the most action-packed, adventure-packed, traumatic, media-packed story that's out there. And we first got into contact when you wrote your book Incoming.
Yeah.
So should we just take it from the beginning, from the Marines?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, cool. Yeah. I said, do you want me to go through when I joined the Marines, how I joined the Marines, etc., etc.?
Yeah, just let's just have a natter, mate. What year did you join up?
I joined up in 1985. I know, dinosaur. Hannah Snell had just left. But in all seriousness, 1985, I was 16, pushing on 17. And I think I was about 14 years old at a local show, the Hillingdon show. Our company used to do like a map display. They used to do a section attack or a terrorist attack, simulated terrorist attack, followed by a map display of one-arm combat. And then you'd have the old free-fall team come jumping out of the helicopter. And I see these guys beating each other up on the mats. And no one in my family's in the military. Nobody, And even when I joined up, my dad said he'd be back in a couple of weeks. No discipline, that boy. He was half right there. He was half right there. But I see these lads at our company. And I went home and I sort of trying to beat my brother up and do these fancy moves I'd just seen. And it just stuck with me from that moment onwards. I was always boxing as a kid and then was quite fit, just got fitter and fitter. I started reading about the Marines, studying about them, and I just become Marine fanatic. I joined the cadets, which was the RCT cadets in Southall. And I used to run from my house to there with a Bergen full of bricks. I was 14, 15 at that time, going until I joined up. And my back used to bleed and I think stupid now when I look back. But I didn't know any different in training. And certainly when I joined up, there wasn't that many gyms about. So when I used to run down the road or go past the pubs and see my dad's mates and people in the pub that knew us, they'd be like, here goes that young Curtis. And I look at him running down the road there, back full of bricks. So that was it. I just stuck in my head. And then there was a program that came on telly called The Paras. And I thought, you know what, they look good. I think I'll have a go at them. And then the Falklands kicked off, obviously in 82. And I thought, I'm going to go for the Marines again, And as I say, fast forward to 1985, I went down to the careers office, joined up, went down to Livingston, done a PRC. I found the PRC not too bad, to be honest with you, and got into training and got through. I got on field firing, live firing exercise, smashed my knee down to the bone from 507 troop, and I went from there into the sick bay. And I got back troops and passed out a 510 troop in 86, I think it was. Went to 4-2 Commando, loved it there. Unbeknown to me at the time, I've got terrible circulation, blood circulation, And I know when I was in training, I used to suffer a little bit when it was fucking survival exercise. I'd be fucking hell going down, but you get through it. When I went to Norway, same thing. A couple of lads come up, they put their hat on my face, got frost in it. Couldn't feel my hands, couldn't feel my feet. And I felt a bit of a biff, to be honest with you, for a few years. But it just is what it is. I just Arctic unsuitable because the circulation was awful. So yeah, I joined 4-2 K Company, Killer K, the ghetto. Went in there, great bunch of lads, awesome soldiers. I think near enough all of the troop or went on to be badged down at Poole. Some fantastic soldiers. A lot went on to recce.
So they all went on to be special forces then, yeah?
Yeah. And it's something that I very much that I want to carry on and do myself. But I'll get onto that a little bit later. From there, we went to Fermanagh for the emergency tour out there. It was a relatively quiet tour, but I loved it, being in the field. Come back, that was 87, 88, just a couple of exercises and stuff. 89, Belfast tour, emergency tour Belfast, which was superb. That was absolutely outstanding.
Was that the one I was on, Gar?
That was not the emergency tour. It's for they blew the band up down in Dill.
Yeah, that's the one I was on. Yeah.
Yeah, Gilly, God bless him. He got shot on a blue and blue. He was L Company. Gilly. I was with K Company. Absolutely. And yeah, that was a great tour, fantastic tour. And I remember them saying we'd been on patrol on nights and come back to New Barnsley Police Station. The OC was there and was all brought to attention. I thought, what's he doing here? You know? Anyway, he said, look, don't want no reprisals for this morning's bombing. And we're like, well, whose ground was that? And we ain't heard no sort of bang reps or nothing's come over the net. Where was that? And they said, back in the UK, we think there's about 20 of the band being killed. So the lads were like, oh, hang about, we're out here. They've not really taken us on much for the 20th anniversary. They've hit our band, but you don't want no reprisals. And he was like, yeah, that's right. And we went out, remember it, we went out on Friday. No, he left as he was all brought to attention, he left. A head come back round the corner. I don't know who it was, of a senior rank. And he went, if any of you lot get caught, I will fucking run you. So I basically get out there and do what you got to do. And we went out on a Friday and there was nobody about West Belfast. They knew we was pissed off. Nobody about. And on Saturday, Pyre had put a device into a tree down near Sean Graham betting office on the Falls Road. Spring, I can't think of the junction now. They put a device in down there which was found. So we all went for them and it kicked off. And 4-2 certainly got their payback for the band and that night. There was a lot of people that got a visit to Free Sheets at the RVH, the Royal Victoria Hospital. You know, feel sorry for the innocent people now you're that much older. But hey, you poke the wasp nest with a stick, you're going to get stung, ain't you? And that's what they did with our band, unfortunately. And we weren't going to sit back. But in general, it was a great tour with great people. I loved it out there. From there, 89, I went to Poole, joined our company, being Essence. You can only get in there like an ice cream boy. And went down there, did the people that I joined up for, good people skills, like to get on with people and doing what we do. And that was fantastic. From there, I put in for SF. And as it was then, was for selection, SBS selection or Hereford selection. There wasn't the joint selection. So put in for that and done my left leg in. Stayed down at Poole, was put on security troop, and that absolutely destroyed me. Absolutely destroyed me. I was like, I didn't join up for this. I went out to IB for on holiday, and I thought, I ain't going back to stand on a gate or do 2IC or something like that. So I ain't doing that. So I stayed out in IB for a little bit, parted, come back, got nicked, got 28 days inside, Pompey DQs, came out. I then went down to the boxing squad, boxed for the Corps, boxed for the Navy. Leo Thompson was down there, good guy, who was the trainer at the time. And then I put in for, I think it was about 93, 92, 93. And SF had just changed then to the joint selection thing. And I put in for the debt. So I went to go and see the Sergeant Major, and I said to him, sir, I want to put in for special duties. And he said, yeah, okay, I think you'd be an ideal candidate and all the rest of it. I've been made up now to a Lance jack again. But they invented Velcro for me for the amount of times I've been demoted. I had my own quilt down at Portsmouth detention quarters. But yeah, so Sergeant Major said, go over and speak to the adjutant. And I walked over to see the adjutant. He come and sit down and he asked me what I knew about the debt. And back in the day, you weren't supposed to know anything about it. It's super secret squirrel. And I said, nothing, sir. And he went, well, why do you want to go into them? Just a few people I know that have gone in there. He said, well, so what do you know about the training? And he said, well, be honest with me. What do you know? I said, Camp 1, Camp 2. And we went through it. He said, I'm going to put you forward for the next selection. He said, how long have you been driving? And I said, what, officially or unofficially, sir? And he was like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's the old paper licence then, wasn't it? Do you remember, before the cards? And I said, well, I've only got a provisional, so I'll pretend I'm my brother if we get nicked. And he said, well, I've seen you driving around the camp and dropping the lads and that off in the town. I said, well, yeah, I'll pretend I'm my brother, sir. And he was like, you can't go any further forward. You've got to have a clean licence for 3 years before you can go on a course. And that was the end of that. And then we had the big fire down at Poole, where the grots caught fire. And that gave me a bit of a taste, I guess, for the fire brigade, to be honest with you. And 1993, 94, I got pinged to go to Comanche and drove up there. And I just thought, not for me. And that was it. PVR, got out. I was out. So I left in 94, came out, realised that Civvy Street was quite tough to work. You're not being mollycoddled all the time. Not the big boys club that we're used to. So I see a pal of mine, Frank, I won't say his surname, but who went on to serve. He left as well at the same time as me. We done devices to Westminster, actually, while I was in the Corps together. And Frank said, I'm going to...
Is that the canoeing race?
Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? That's probably one of the hardest things I've done, actually. You know, 125 miles. We won it that year. The Marines won it that year. Me and Frank was the last of the Marines teams to come in about 20 hours 15, 22 hours 15. Oh, I'm useless, the head's going. But yeah, we won it. The Marines team won it that year. And it was quite nails, to be honest with you. It was nails. But yeah, Frank, me and him was on the piss, and he said, I'm going to join back up. I said, I think I am as well. And I'd also put him for the fire brigade. And my date for the fire brigade came up first. Frank got his date to join back up. He went back in. And because you've been outside, when you've been a young Marine, and that's all you know as a young Marine, you don't put your all into it. But I think if you've been a Marine, then you leave and see how tough it is out on Civvy Street, then go back into the Marines. You give it that much more. You want to be that much more responsible and grown up a little bit. And that's what Frank done. And he done 20 odd years. I think he retired as SC1. You know, good lad. But for me, I joined the fire brigade. I went to Westminster to start without training. From there, wasn't a busy station. I then put in to go to Euston, which was one of the busiest fire stations in London. Joined a White Watch, and that was pretty good. Not very good money. A lot of politics involved with it as well, you know. And when I say that, and no disrespect to anybody that's serving in that now, but years ago, if you wanted to be a fireman or firefighter, as it is now, they used to take on people that were fit for the mould, you know. Whereas later, when I was in, they started taking people that were from different backgrounds and that. And I don't mean that in the colour or just because they're gay, blah, blah. I do and I don't. If they needed to bring the diversity up in the job. So we started getting a few people that maybe weren't up to scratch for the actual job. But in the fire brigade's eyes and the government's eyes, they was ticking all the boxes, you know. So in 2001, we had the strike, which I didn't agree with. Every time the bells went down, we weren't supposed to turn out, and we go and have a look at the teleprinter, and it'd say RTA, road traffic accident, or as it is now, road traffic collision, 2 cars in collision, 3 persons confirmed track. So we're going to go with this? And we're like, yeah, of course you're going to go to it. You're not going to say no, are you? So we used to turn out for everything. We used to go to 1-unders all the time. Had people that committed suicide on the tube train. That was quite often, and they were messy, really messy, as you can understand. Human against train. It's a no-brainer. So I enjoyed that, but it's just too much politics. In 2003, I was at a fire. I was actually in a fire, and mobile, because it was pretty new back then, was going off in my pocket. And when I got up, when I finished with the fire, I had a look, and I was thinking, what's that number? Where's that come from? And it was one of the lads who was out in Iraq. And he said, Gaz, do you want to come out here? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to come out there. So what's the score? And he told me how much it was on and what we were doing. So I went to see my governor. I said, look, I'm going to Iraq on Monday. What do I do about leaving? And he said, I'll put all your leaving it in, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. I went away in 2003 and never looked back. But my time in the brigade, some fantastic people. It's a good job when you're actually working. You do some fantastic work. It's hard work. Some of it's very traumatic. That didn't really bother me. I was on a Paddington train crash. I was recovering bodies from there. The Southall train crash, I didn't get onto that, but was on standby. Used to building sites and stuff all the time. Big car crashes, fires, obviously. And so I got, dare I say it, I see a lot more carnage in the fire service than I did in my time in the Marines. But certainly when I went on to my later career, what I'm doing now, they don't even compare. I feel like I'm the Grim Reaper sometimes. It's just, I've got 4 beautiful children. I've got 1 grandson. I've got another 2 grandchildren on the way. I'm 52. I want an easy life. I say I want an easy life. I'm always at war, but that's where I belong. That's where I come into my own. That's where I'm good at what I do. All the journalists that I've looked after, 99.9% of them actually amazing people. Some of them, a couple of them, maybe not so amazing, but it's an industry. It's a very selfish industry. I thought after my injury and the troubles that were caused, being a lies I go into in a little bit, but the troubles that were caused for me, especially after everything I'd done previously, I honestly thought that a lot of journalists would have my back, and they didn't. They just go on, or they'd get another security provider, easy as that, another consultant to go with them, and that was hard for me because I really do put my life on the line. I really do go through hell sometimes to get them in and out safely, or I will go forward into a position and spend a couple of days on the front lines with soldiers to see what's going on, make an assessment, to come back, to get the clients to take them back in. And very, very difficult for me to just be dropped, or for the journalists to turn their back on. Even now, it's still, it winds me up. It does wind me up. That doesn't mean that if I went to war that I'm not going to look after them, because it's what I do, it's what I love. And, I do give my all to the people. But yeah, so 2003, I got a phone call to go to Baghdad. I went out there. I become a TL within a couple of weeks, and then a security manager. And then I went on to
that team leader, mate.
Team leader, yeah. And then I got made up to security manager of a task. I then changed companies and went to, I see these guys cutting about, and I knew a couple of them, and they were just like us now. 5 o'clock shadow, quite fit, very, very scruffy, all in civvy clothes, no weapons and that on show. The cars were all battered, broken windows, and shitty baby nappy on a back shelf and things like that. And they'd be there, and I was like, who's that lot? And I got chatting to a couple of them. They said, we need some people, guests, want to come over. So I went over and I met the boss, a guy from Hereford, and I was introduced. And I spent 7 years with that company doing the profile that we did. The profile that we did, the MO that we used for low profile, which I just explained, we carried out massively successful operations tasks and out there. When the insurance changed and the clients insisted that for doing the airport runs down the Bayap International Airport Road on the Route Irish to come to the green zone, they wanted to use armoured cars, the armoured Land Cruisers, the up armoured D6s. And we was all a little bit, well, let's stick with these old cars that we got. And they said, no, there's car bombs going off every day. And we're like, well, yeah, look at the people that are getting hit. They're all getting hit in high-profile vehicles and doing hard drills as they're going along. And they're like, no, insurance has insisted. So we was forced to go down that path and use it. And within a couple of months of using it, got banjoed, and the VBIED went off next to one of the vehicles. It blew it off of the flyover onto the road below, all on fire, everybody dead. And then with clients as well in the car that were coming back from the airport to come in, and that was quite tough. And then myself, me and Ritzy, the bootneck, we was driving down to Central Bank, and that, because it was the one road, it was, to be honest with you, that was probably the only task that you would have used a armoured vehicle, because there was no escape routes at all. Once you were on there and channeled, you was in. If you get banjoed, you need that vehicle to do what it's going to do. And on this particular day, there's a kid walking with the old market barrow, walking up the road towards us, but over to the right as I'm looking, as I'm driving. And as we come up towards the shop, there's a load of shops. It's like all these pillars, concrete pillars with arches, and then the shop set back a little bit. And there's these fruit stalls, leather shops, and this one had bags. And I remember looking, I just see it, but over to the right, this kid was coming out. So I put my foot on the brake a little bit, slowly. Then he stepped right out in front of the car. And I was like, oh shit. So I put my foot on the brake. And as I put my foot on the brake, a detonation happened. And at first I thought, was that the kid that's just detonated? Or to our left here? And as the car was going over to the right, I had my eyes shut, come back down, open my eyes, and it was like being dropped into the North Sea. It was just green, dark, greyish. All the glass was all pitted and crap all over the screen. And I remember smashing the gear, the 4x4 into low gear, like that, looking down at my legs to see. I don't know why I looked at my legs to see if they were there. I guess I don't know. There wasn't that many IEDs going on. The actual cab hadn't been penetrated, and I just floored it. Now, bearing in mind, I knew that there was a kid in front, but after that explosion, I knew that he would be dead. There's absolutely no way he could survive. And our job is to get the clients in a CP role, not media, CP role, is to get them out of the shit. So I dropped the car into low, floored it. I mean, the engine was sort of splutting. We got 100 metres up the road to the Central Bank, went in there, the car died, put the clients inside. The Bravo call sign came in a little bit later because they obviously backed up, and we just went on to Overwatch for a little bit. And when they came in later, they said there was 6 people that was dead in that immediate area from that device going off. We got big pats on the back all round for doing what we did that day. And that was the armoured cars, and that's something that stuck with me. That said, I've been to a lot of conflicts everywhere. When we cross deck, you do need to get, like, especially in Mosul, you know, I'll drive up to a area, and then I would let my local drivers take them vehicles back, and we'd cross deck with the Iraqi Special Forces or the Golden Division, and we'd go up to the front, and we'd spend time up there, probably not 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, even longer sometimes. And yeah, it was. It's got a bite, excuse me. That again, it's your common sense of doing what you do. In the Ukraine, going into the Ukraine, I was in a soft-skin vehicle entirely for that. And what we would do is I'd drive up to a holding area, drop the vehicle net off, then we go foxtrot, you know. And because you had the clear-cut front lines, as with Mosul, you could work out the trajectory pretty much of a lot of ordnance that was coming in. So when you had the grad attacks that were going, so if they was coming from the north, we would go up and we'd get on the other side of a wall, knowing that the rounds that are coming in are going to hit on the opposite side of a building. Just get yourself in the cover. And every battle picks up its own little drum beat. And that doesn't mean you get cocky or confident with it. But every place I've been to, Iraq, Afghanistan, Ukraine, Libya, everywhere seems to pick up its own little drum beat. When you suss that, it becomes a lot easier. But very, very easy to become a war junkie, to become a war tourist, you know. And that's what I tell new journalists is, like, you get away with this contact today and you're going to feel like Superman, like, let's go again. But some days it goes wrong. It goes very, very wrong, you know. And that's where we earn our money to get them out. And
have you seen that documentary, Gav? It's called hang on, bear with me. Which Way to the Front Line?
No.
Yeah, mutual friend of ours, Matty, pointed it out to me, and Yeah, it was basically it's a documentary about this journalist that basically was doing the war journalism thing, right? Traveling the world. He was in Africa, seriously, like getting in very serious situations where any minute someone could just turn around and put a bullet in him, and he's having to talk his way out.
More often than not, back then, I don't really want to mention a lot of the places, and we do carry weapons sometimes, a lot of the times, you know, and some of the places where we don't carry weapons, there might be situations when you do have to procure a weapon. And Mosul was certainly one of them. I can't name the organisation that I was looking after, but there was a number of times there. There was one particular occasion we was embedded with the Iraqi Special Forces, and as we turned left, we could see the berm 25 metres away, the berm to where ISIS and that were, and then beyond that, about 100 metres was the minaret and a mosque. And for some reason, the vehicle just turned right in front of the berm, went firm, so that left two vehicles facing the minaret at 12 o'clock. The client went to get out, and I just said, no, wait there. Not happy with that. We've got a berm in front of us, and we've got the minaret and all the rest of it. They've got the high ground, if you like. And he said, well, the commander's talking to the locals. Just wait there. I'm not happy with it. So he sat there and waited, and we was there for less than 5 minutes, and the first shot rang out, and it hit the Humvee, which was to our left. And then the next round went, our gunner had gone. And I thought I knew where the firing position was. And I was just waiting now for a complex attack and waiting for the people or ISIS fighters to come up along that berm and fire RPGs at us. So I couldn't bug out. I couldn't grab him because we would have exposed ourselves to sniper fire. And so I jumped on the M19 and engaged what I thought was the target. And I identified that target, positive identification. And that firing stopped. And the Iraqis were very, very happy.
What is M19 a machine gun?
Yeah, it's a grenade launcher, the automatic grenade launcher.
Okay.
That's the only weapon yeah. So I just jumped up on that. I thought, and that was it. End of. So yeah, it's a big pat on the back all round. But as a journalist, doing what we do, you don't get involved in firefights. That's not your job. You're meant to be on the fence. However, you do. I can't tell you the amount of medical work that I've done, the stuff that I've done is just, I'm never going to do it anywhere else, but out there in the field and all the rest of it is incredible. Out in Gareshk, when we was out in Gareshk, Afghanistan, I did a chest drain. That was with the Danes. They was talking you through how to do a chest drain out there, you know. It was just, you're never going to get a chance to do that stuff over here. All the red tape and it, but war is war. And that's where I come into my own. I dare I say I enjoy it, but when I come back here, this is what drives me mad. Cameras everywhere. You can't do yellow lines everywhere. You can't park there, but you can park around the corner. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't say this. You can't say that. I'm like, fucking hell. I just, it drives me absolutely insane, you know? So yeah, that was all that. But that all come to an end in 2007. In 2007, 4 of the lads on a project we was in, they got lifted in Baghdad. They was tortured and executed, but the client was let go, I think, a year or so later, a couple of years later. I then went out to Libya, and I was looking after a news crew, and we picked up 2 drivers from Zawiya, a rebel-held town, Zawiya. And as we was driving towards Tripoli, I said to this news crew I'm looking after, I said, that battle went quick. I said, if they're rolling into Tripoli, I'm happy to do a darker clock move in it with you. But if I say we're lifting off, we come straight back to Zawiya. And they're like, okay, Gary, brilliant. You've looked after us. Let's get down there. So we went down there, got to Tripoli, and I phoned up another consultant from an organisation. And I said, what's it like at your hotel? He said, yeah, all the media's coming down here. They're all going to meet here. So it went great. And we drove in. It was empty, and then some technicals came in with the with all the Gaddafi loyalists and all that. Excuse me, I just want to blow my nose. Yeah, so the technicals came in, and I knew that these 2 drivers would probably be executed. So I've got the master key, and I put them up and hid them in the rooms. Now, when I say hostage, we was taken hostage, we was held against our will. We wasn't allowed to leave. We wasn't ill-treated. And that was something that I noticed straight away. And I said to the crew that I was looking after, this is not right. I think we're being held as human shields here because of the NATO aircraft that were bombing everywhere. So I think we're being held as human shields. And I said, why do you think that? I said, well, you think like if you rob a bank or when the police come into a house, kick a door through, or you do hostage rescues or anything like that, anything that people do, it's all about aggression, it's all about control, it's all about doing what they got to do. But these were all pretty nice. Just sit there, please sit down, wait there. We're here for you. You cannot leave. You must wait here. And I'm thinking, So I said to the journalist, the correspondent, on the second day, as I say, I'm hiding these two guys from Zawiya in different rooms. Every day I'm just moving them around over the balcony. There's battles going on outside, tank fire, artillery, small arms fire, everything. It's mad. And I said to the people, I said, I'm going to see if they really mean business. He said, what are you going to do? So I'm going to walk out towards the front gate of the hotel. And he said, what if they shoot you? I said, they're not going to shoot us. I think we would have been beaten up by now. I said, I think what's going to happen is going to shout an order. I'm going to keep walking, and then there's going to be one shot fired. And like that one shot fired is a warning shot. And he said, are you sure of that? I said, I'm not sure of that, but I do feel that these people are here genuinely thinking that they're doing good by keeping us here and don't mean us any harm. And that's what I did. I turned around, I walked out, and I heard him shout, and then I heard the shot. I just put my arms up and said, oh, sorry, Siddiqui. Turned around, walked back, and I said, yes, what I thought, John. They don't want to cause any harm to us. They would come up, smash the rifle into my face or punch me, and they didn't. And I was like, okay. So I had a sat phone. I let London know. So these guys had just told us as human shields, not as hostages. And I told them about what I'd just done. They said, okay, guys. So I'm going to make an attempt for an escape if I can. And he said, yeah, cool. And on the fifth morning, I noticed there was only 3 gunmen. And we had an option of taking the gunmen on when they come around and check on us, like that, give them good hiding, do what's got to be done. And next one comes in, we give him a good hiding. There's 2 weapons that we got, or try and make an escape. Bearing in mind, there was 50 odd journalists there from all the organisations. So I decided to make my escape. And I went out, believe it or not, just a fire exit. Made my way out the back of the hotel to a fire exit, pushed the door open, had a little look. My lot was still inside. They didn't know I was doing this at this time. Having a little look. And as I walked across the gravel towards this sentry box next to a gate, walking across the gravel, and it sounded like every step was a thunder flash. My heart was going like that. I got up to this sentry box, and the window was there. Had a little look from high on the old angle. No one in there. Went to the door, see if the door was open like that. A little creak, no one in there. Looked to the gate, thought we can do this. So I went back, got the guys. We went out, made the escape. A car was coming down the road, so I put them down into like a trench, the media crew. I put the media crew into like a trench to see this car, and I was looking for uniform and weapon, and I couldn't see it, and there was only one up in the car. So, just, I know it sounds silly, I was pretending that I was injured with my leg and walking out into the road, just waving, because we've not any uniform. And the car slowed down, and I pulled the door open to talk to him, and then pushed the back door open, told the rest of them, come on, get in. So you've got the cameraman, who's correspondents, getting out of this ditch, running, getting into a car. And I said to the bloke, we must go. He said, who are you? He said, you must go. And as we drove round the corner to come onto this really straight road, there was just cars victualled up, dead body on the ground. It was like a sniper's alley. I was like, stop, turn around, go back. Went round, we went over a bridge. And as we went over the bridge, come down the other side, tank. There was a tank on the other side. And I was, shit. And I said, fellas, what you need to do, just make sure you know how to open these doors from inside, okay? They're going to be aiming at the vehicle, not an individual, at the vehicle. So any round that you hear and I say get out, just run to the sides to get away from there. And then I'm like, okay, guys. And with that, I've just undone my window and I put my hands out. I always carry a high visibility orange panel. And I had that and I put that out and I hands out the window. And I said to the driver, slowly, go forward, sway, slow. And we went forward and we could see the tank moving and I could see people running around down there. And then by then I'm shouting out the window, Siddiqui, press, Brittani, Anglesi. and like we're getting closer and closer, and we turned up at a rebel position. We went down, they put us into a safe house, looked after us. I phoned London, give their grid, and then went back to conduct a rescue of sorts with a couple of hundred rebels later to get the rest of the world's media. But whilst we was doing our escape and evasion and back in brief in London, the Red Cross had negotiated the release of all the media. So I went back to an empty hotel, except for my 2 drivers that I'd hidden. I went from there to Afghanistan. After that, when I got back, a organisation said, Gaz, what you did out there was absolutely amazing. Like the lives that were saved, the stuff that you did. We want you to be our primary security guy. And I said, thanks very much. I then went to Afghanistan, got injured. Whilst I was off, I had the intestines had ruptured. They flew me back to the UK. Turns out it was a condition called diverticulitis, which is like polyps in the intestine wall, and they had ruptured from teaching self-defence and whatnot. So yeah, needless to say, when I had shit leaking out into my body cavity, everyone was like, oh, there you go, Gaz, talking shit again. So yeah, so that went wrong after the surgery. My intestines split apart after they put them back together, and they had to open me up from there all the way down to me cock pretty much. And I had pipes sticking out of me, tubes sticking out of me, and then I got septicemia and nearly died. I nearly died after 3 months critical. Dr. Ian Jenkins and Becky Slater, I named them. I can't thank them enough. The surgeon and the nurse, you know, I can't thank them enough. But having a colostomy bag on for a little while, I felt dehumanised. It was incredible. It was awful, absolutely awful. My morale started going down massively. I was getting really depressed. So when I started getting back fit between the surgeries, there was every sort of few months over the 2 years, I got a gig to look after. Can I name a family on here? Can
I? Can you say a family? Is it? I'll
tell you what. I was looking after a very well-known footballer and pop star wife. Come from LA to move. Come to London.
We know who they are. So go on.
Yeah. So they come to London into the house, and I've got a colostomy bag on. I'm just doing nights like RST. And one day Brooklyn come running. He said, "Hey Gary," slight American accent. I said, "Yeah." He said, "Are you scared of mice?" And I'm like, "Well, no." He said, "Can you come in here, Mum? Just see one run across the floor." So as I walked into the front room, I was like in a side office which controlled their doors. And as I walked in, Mrs. was stood on the settee, and me being me, I wanted the Joker part of me to come out and just sort of say, "Oh my God, what is it? What is it?" Staying up there with her as if to say scared, but you know, there's a professional side as well. So just carry on with the professional side. And she said, "Gary, there's a mouse running around. I'll just see it go into the kitchen. Can you catch it?" And I said, "Well, I'll have a look. This is not Bear Grylls show." I said, "But I'll have a little look and see what I can do for you." So I'm going in this kitchen, looking around. I was like, "No, not going to find it." I said, "I'll have to call Rent-A-Kill. We'll get someone to come out." She said, "That's fine." And called Rent-A-Kill. And they come out the next day to come and do what they had to do. But they were a lovely family to look after. Anyway, I went from there, went back into surgeries, and I got picked up for Ukraine to go out with another media crew, which is a Balkans crew, but from a big network, global network. And I looked after them, and that was absolutely awesome. In fact, there's a lot of footage there. We got ambushed down near an airport, and I got them out of that trouble. It was Ukraine was probably one of the liveliest, most kinetic places I've been. One of the most hostile and dangerous places that I've actually ever been. And apart from Mosul, the Mosul city itself with ISIS, it was just full on. It was incredible. So yeah, just wait for them. Probably coming to get me. I know I'm out here.
I'm going to put a complaint into the Met for fucking up my podcast.
Keep the noise down. Speeding. So yeah, I mean, I went to Ukraine to do some work out there. I came back and went to the organisations that I used to work for, and I had a very, very good name for myself, but the management team had changed, and because of one individual, whilst I was in hospital, they said, how comes Garry Curtis escaped and you never? And this individual said, Garry didn't put everyone in danger, nearly got everyone killed, whatever. And it turns out that this guy was just embarrassed that he got rescued and I escaped. So when I got back fit, the management teams had changed everywhere, and I only knew this lie. And even to this day, my work, I've gone from being one of the busiest media operators in the country to just getting little bits like what I used to. Very, very sad, gutted, you know. And it led to a lot of depression and the suicide attempt, you know. And the suicide was, I just felt useless, worthless. I was so skint. I just thought, I'm out of here. I can't do it. My daughter needed stuff. I've got 4 kids. My daughter needed some stuff and I couldn't provide. I didn't want to go putting doors through and debt collecting and stuff. And all I wanted to do is just work, do what I do what I love. And I needed that. I needed the journalists so much to have my back. Everything I do for them to get to the front lines and do. And I really needed them to have my back massively. And they didn't. There's only a couple that did. And thank you, those, you know who you are. But most just get on with their lives.
It can be a real shallow world, mate, can't it? You know.
Yeah.
There's that. I'm a loyal person, and I will lose a job. I don't care what I'm earning. I'll lose that job if it means supporting a mate, you know. And I've done that.
But I'm exactly the same, Chris. I'm exactly the same. And that's how I've been brought up. I call a spade, and I like to be spoken to like that as well. Don't like the knives going into your back. And I find a lot of that. That's the modern world. That's how this world works now. It's a shame. It's awful. So yeah, I made an attempt on my life. Thank God I'm here. I cannulated my wrist in the shower, bled out, lost consciousness, regained consciousness. The cannula blocked up a little bit, grey gauge. Crawled to my bed.
A cannula, that's the thing you put in your vein to
give fluids. But if you've got no fluids going in, blood will come out the other way. So blood, it was just flowing out. I was just watching my life, just watching it just going away. And I was kneeling down next to the shower, my arm in the shower, just watching the tray fill up with blood and crying, saying goodbye to people and all the rest of it. I had like a death rattle. I don't know how long I was out for, but it was like a death rattle that brought me round. And I just remember looking around in the bathroom. I was freezing cold. My heart was going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Freezing cold. And I'm thinking, am I dead? If I'm dead, where's all these people that are supposed to be here? Like my nan, my granddad, friends, family that have all passed. Where was this big white light they're on about? All I saw was black. You know, what's going on? None of that shit. So I tried to stand up. And as I stood up, I just spanked straight into the shower, hit my head on the shower. I knew I was in trouble. I pulled the cannula out. Didn't want to die all of a sudden then. Pulled the cannula out. I crawled back to the bed and my heart was going even faster. I was literally going to die. And just laid there and I thought, I'm going to call my missus. I just laid there for a little bit, cried again. Big Jessie I am. I called my missus at the time, Sam, even though we was having a little few problems. And just said, look, I've done something stupid. And I told her, and she said, I'm going to send your dad round there because he's closer than I am. And I could hear my dad banging at the door. But I couldn't move because my heart was going so fast. I would have died. I would have died, properly died. And I used the computer to Skype my dad. He said, what have you done, boy? What have you done? I said, look, I can't get to the door. I'm going to have to get the police. They're going to have to smash the door down. Come and open the door, he was saying. I said, I can't get to the door, Dad. You're going to have to get the police. And the police turned up. They smashed the door down. The ambulance crew came in. Garry, what you done, mate? Tell us what you done. So I told them. I see all the blood and that in the shower and the drag marks over from the shower into the... it was just carnage. My dad was there. And to see... Do you know what? If anybody's in a bad place and thinking about topping themselves and that. And don't get me wrong, everyone has demons. Everyone has their dark days. Everyone goes through that place and maybe thinks about it, but don't actually carry it out. And that, believe it or not, is normal. A lot of people go through that. But to actually carry it out or try to carry it out is the next level. And for those that succeed, like I nearly did that day, if you would have seen my dad's face, then you will never ever have done that. And I've got my kids, my mum, friends, as you see on Facebook and all that. All right, they're not real friends, a lot of them on there, but some of them are. And just a popular sort of person. And suicide is so final. It's just, it feels right to you at the time. It feels a brave thing to do because you feel like you're not a burden to anyone anymore. Because in your life before that, you feel like a burden, a failure, a total waste of space. And you just want out. But trust me, you need to talk. You really need to talk to people because
it's not the answer.
It's just not the answer at all. It ain't the answer. So yeah, it was in a bad way. And that's what spurred me really to write the book. I've had a lot of people ask me over the years, but being in security, you don't want to put everything, your life out there. So I wrote the book, and as I was writing it, I spent so much time laughing, like, with eyes watering, some of the funny stuff that was going on, and also crying a lot as well. That went out, and it's being re-edited at the moment and getting re-released soon, incoming. It's getting great reviews on Amazon. You know, people talking about they want to turn it into a TV series, people turn it into film. What's her name? Jilly Cooper. She said if she was younger, she would have turned it into a TV series. Loved the book. So I'm blown away. I'm just a kid that grew up in a council estate, bit of a scallywag. I joined the Marines. I joined the Fire Brigade. I've gone to near enough every single war and conflict that you can think of in the last 20 years. I'm good at what I do. I love my work going up there. I love my family. I can't stand being back in the world. I absolutely hate it, you know. And all I want to do is do what I do, looking after people, keeping people safe, and, you know, get a couple of quid in the bank. That's it. That's all I want to do.
But your story, mate, is one of resilience, isn't it? Just get up, move forward.
I keep doing it, man. Yeah. I think that's just the bootneckerness and what we are. Just, you know, anyone can lay down. I did lay down. When I used to go to them suicides, people jumped in front of trains, and I used to think to myself, why would you do that? You know, why would you just do that? Why? But trust me, when I got there, and since doing the book, Chris, there's a lot of people that have reached out to me. A lot of people that have reached out to me. You know, I'm not a counsellor, but I think people like to talk to somebody that's been there and survived. And, you know, they say, how'd you do it? There's no magic wand. There's no tablets. There's people to talk to. But only one person can get you out of shit in a shoe. So there's stuff in the pipeline. I've got some more TV stuff coming up soon, which they want me to go back out, looking after some more news networks as well. Book 2's being written. Book 1's coming out. Book 2 will have a lot about Syria, a lot about Iraq with Mosul against ISIS, Necker Island, some more legal shit, some more women problems. Fucking women. My Achilles heel, you know. I'll be a shit spy.
Gaz, how did you end up on Necker Island? That's Richard Branson's island, right?
Yeah. I only went out to start off with a friend of mine after the hurricane. My friend got a contract to go out there, John, to do the rewiring and stuff. And I got a phone call from him and the project manager saying, Gaz, can you have a look at different boats in the UK because we need some boats out here? So I said, yeah, sure. And then I got a phone call. Said, look, we've got some boats out here now. Can you drive a boat? And I'm like, yeah, of course I can drive a boat. All right. So I got my boat ticket. I've got my boat ticket. And I was flown out there to go and do that. But I was also chipping in with them and helping out on the island. I spoke to Mr. Branson, tried to see if he needed security and all that lot. He's not really interested, but it's not for me to go into their details, what they want and what they don't want. But that didn't happen. So I spent a month out there on the island, and it was just like, even though there was a lot of building work going on, it was like paradise, you know. Richard Branson, I met him once before when I was in the Fire Brigade too. We got called to a siege at Holland Park, and when we turned up, he had the firearms team and all that up the top of Holland Park, and we had the hoses charged. The hose charged means it's full of water, and we're laying down on the floor. So I'm laying down on the wall at the top end of the hose with another lad. And I was dying for a wee, and I knew I couldn't just get my Jake out and have a piss on the street because you've got the firearms team and you've got the world's press, which is further back down. I thought, shit. So I was looking back down the road, and I could see a woman in a window down near the fire engine itself. I said to the lad, I'm just going to go have a quick piss if she let me in. He went, yeah, cool. So I went all the way down there, knocked on the door. This woman's come up, lovely lady. And I said, look, it's really sorry. I said, do you mind if I borrow the toilet? I need to have a wee. And she said, oh, please come in. So I take my tunic off, braces off, and my leggings, going in. Went to the toilet, having a wee. And as I'm coming out, I'm beginning to take notice now of everything in the house. It's got pictures of the Richard Branson balloon, Richard Branson this, Richard Branson and some people, Richard. And I was like, well, you know old Dickie then, dear. And she said, yeah, it's my husband, he's upstairs. And I was like, oh, shit. Nice one. So, yeah, that was it. That was. I didn't meet him that day, but I met his wife. Mm. And then years later, I met him. Lovely people, really nice people, you know. So, that's it. Yeah. Do you want to know about the documentary be out soon as well called Contractors?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, I've got a phone call off a Hollywood film director, and what they said to me, I just come back from Mosul. The old city was just about to be attacked in the west of the city, and I just come home for a week. Met these people. Turns out he's a Hollywood film director, and he wanted to go out to see what war was like. And I said, no, you don't want to go out there, especially now. I said, they're a wounded animal. This is going to be bad. And he was like, no, we're going to go out there and see what it's all about. And I said, you don't. They kept on. I said, what I would do, I will get you in with the police, the militia police, but I can't take you down on the front lines. So he said, okay. So I took them out to Mosul. And to be expected, with any civilians that go to war, mortars going off, small arms fire, everyone's doing a tortoise and that. By that stage, I was so used to it. You know, I was tuned in, so it didn't really bother me too much. You just listen, you hear things much more different from them. Of course you do. You hear a launch and you see things tactically different. So they said, look, this is a little bit lively. And I said, yeah, I told you that. I said, but where we are now is a couple of K back off the front line. And he went, right. I said, if you want, I will go down with a GoPro camera. I will go down with the Special Forces, spend the night when they start the attack, get all the footage in it for you, and come back. You will stay with a police commander at the villa, the HQ villa, and I will come and get you in a couple of days. If I end up getting hurt or banjoed, they will casevac me or they will repack me. You just get yourselves down to Erbil. And I left them with my fixer, who I've been working with for a couple of years out there, good guy. And I said to them, they'd been full briefs back in Erbil. I briefed them exactly what to do before I left them that day. I said, keep your body armour on, you keep your boots on, you don't go up on the roofs, you make sure you find out where your escape routes and that are, make sure the vehicles and that are always ready to rock, etc., etc. Phones are charged, blah, blah, blah. And they was like, yeah, okay. So I'm down on the front line, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, the whole place just went absolutely mental. It was tracer, tank rounds, artillery rounds, fast there. It went mental, and they was letting rip onto the old city. But ISIS were giving us good back. And this went on. Every hour I kept calling them, you all okay? Yeah, we're okay. Okay, yeah, every hour. Then about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, Dalsha phoned me and he was like, Garry, they're attacking us. I'm like, who's attacking you? He said, the helicopter's attacking us. And I looked up, I could see the Hind and a couple of Apaches, and I was going, no, it's hitting ISIS. He said, no, we've got dead people on the roof. And I'm like, what do you mean you've got dead people on the roof? And he said, yeah, they killed people on the roof. I said, what the fuck are you doing on the roof? I've already told you about going on the roof. I said, just stay where you are, try and get it stopped. Now, I'm on the front line, and I'm trying to find a sergeant major or anyone who think they can't understand me. So the Humvee come down, like a resupply, and I managed to get them to go back to a headquarters area, not where they are, but another little headquarters area. See a sergeant major. I've got the phone for Dalsha to talk to each other, and we got the helicopter attack stopped. And that was probably the lowest point in my security life. Everything else I've been really, really proud of. Journalists have won awards and all sorts, and that was probably the lowest point because I felt a bit of a failure. I put myself in harm's way to get them some good stuff, which they have got good stuff for the actual documentary Contractors when it comes out. But people died on the roof, and really my job as a security, I had a free tier job there, if you like. I was security medic and cameraman, and it should have been down to me to say, no, I'm not going to go and film forward. But you think when you're putting them into an echelon position at a headquarters villa, which is known, I weighed that up as as being safe, and it wasn't safe. So the moral of the story is, after doing all the time that I've done, is you never leave your client, no matter what. That's what you get paid for, you know, to look after them. And if I had been there that day, then no one would be dead, because they would have been up on the roof. So yeah, that was very, very difficult, very, very difficult for me, you know. And I don't know when that's going to come out. I hope it does come out, because if they don't release it, then Iraqis died for fuck all. Yeah. You know, that ain't right. That ain't right. And trust me, I tell you what, it's weird to think back in 1991, 2003, the two wars that we had, that was once our enemy, and then to be working alongside them, to see what they was going through and how hard they was fighting for every single square fucking inch of Mosul. They impressed me. They impressed me a lot. And a lot of them become good friends too, for the amount of time we was out there. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, one of my best mates was executed in Mosul. It's fucking big boy business, mate, you know.
That's what it comes down to, mate. That is what it comes down to. But ultimately, as I say, you as a contractor to look after people, it's not a game. We know it's not a game.
No.
I went above and beyond to do what I thought I was doing, but I think in reality, I probably took my eye off the ball and forgot that I'm there ultimately for them, not to be the cameraman. You know, if they wanted a cameraman, they should have paid for a cameraman to go, or another security advisor to stay with them and me to go with a cameraman. So, yeah, that was very, very hard for me. That was. I don't have nightmares about it, but I was still pissed off with myself, because it was a preventable thing. You know, they've got awesome footage down. Don't get me wrong, they've got some awesome stuff from what I got down on the front lines and that. But hey, there's fucking people that are dead. So what? You know, I don't mean so what that they're dead. What about the footage? It's not good.
Of course,
not good. So yeah.
So Garry, where can people get? I'm sure after listening to this, people will want to get hold of you. Your Instagram account is quite popular, isn't it?
Yeah. Just go to Instagram or Facebook, both up and running. Just message me. I'll get back to everyone if I can.
And it's Garry with 2 R's, which is quite unusual.
Yeah, Garry 2 R's.
Garry
That's something as well. When I was born, my dad went down to the tattooist and had my name tattooed on his hand, Gary. And my mum said, no, the birth certificate's got 2 R's. He's like, oh. You know, so no, it's Garry 2 R's, Garry Curtis, Curtis. Instagram, Facebook. The book incoming is still available on amazon.co.uk, but there is an edited and an edited version that's coming out in the next few months. That's just being rejigged a little bit in a couple of added chapters. Plus, with book 2, it's going to be coming out probably next year or so. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on. There's a lot of funny stuff, real down to earth stuff, some brutally honest stuff. You know, and hopefully we'll all be moving in the right direction. You know,
definitely. Well, mate, listen, just stay on the line while I say our goodbyes to our friends at home.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks ever so much, mate. You know, especially talking about a suicide attempt. Well, for sharing your whole story, but you know, we're in a men's crisis of mental health. It maybe I just come into contact with too many men. Yeah. But I'm guessing it's probably a crisis across the board, and to have people that will just say it how it is, and also, you know, reminding people pain is temporary. It's just temporary. It's only in this moment. It won't be your future, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, do you know what, Chris? That was the big thing. Is like Garry Curtis, the boxer, the Royal Marine, the fireman. You know, he's tried to kill himself. Are you fucking kidding me? No way. And I found that was very important to put that across, to put it out there, because I'm human, and if I can get in that position, a lot of people can get in that position. As I said, since the people have read the book and being open about it on social media, I get so many people get in touch with me. And I'm not a counsellor. but people, it comforts them. It seems to comfort them. And you can't ask for more than that. I am blown away. I'm humbled by it. I really am, because I'm just a kid that, you know.
You legend, mate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, mate. Speak soon. All right. There's a lot more to tell you, mate, but you won't be able to get it all in otherwise.
Well, mate, we'll go for round 2. I'm sure people will ping us their questions.
Okay, cool. If they want to do that Q&A, then I'm happy to do that with you.
Yeah, definitely. You'll come on my Commando to Commando chat one night. I do all that live, and we just chat and we answer people's questions on YouTube as they ping them to us, and it's good fun. But mate, just stay on the line. I'm just going to basically click the record button off and say goodbye.
Yeah, cool.
To our friends at home, thank you for watching another edition of the Bought the T-Shirt podcast. Massive love to you and your families. Please look after yourself. If you liked, then please like. If you didn't, who cares?
They're going to love it. They're going to love it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying. And if you can subscribe, that's brilliant. Ciao, ciao. Hello, friend. I hope this finds you well. My name's Chris THRALL. I'm a former Royal Marines Commando, and I fought my way back from chronic trauma and addiction to live, work and travel in 80 countries across all 7 continents, achieving all of my dreams and goals along the way. Now I pass my simple system on to other people, but I can only help you if you like and subscribe. So please do so, because you get one life, and if you live it right, one is enough.